Welcome back to the collective. It's your boy Yanni K. I have a very special guest, Mr. Day Johnson.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I appreciate you getting on and kind of sharing your life with me, man.
Yeah, no
Obviously,
problem.
I've known you for what? We've known each other for
Oh,
7 years, 6 years, something like that.
no, longer than that, because I've known you almost as long as I've known Sal, and Dawn and Sal been together 13 years now.
I don't think it wasn't like how we are now, though.
Yeah, not
it
like
was just
this.
us kind of like acquaintances more
Yeah,
than
exactly.
anything. But I've known Day for a very long time, and he's one dude I can definitely call up if I'm ever just in a spot where I just need to talk to somebody because I know he'll be there. And
Right.
same would go for you if you called me. So
Exactly.
I guess let's just get right into this, man. Like, what makes Day Johnson tick?
Oh, shit. Honestly, I would say a lot. It takes a whole lot to actually make me angry. But man, the smallest things annoy the crap out of me, and I get frustrated over dumb shit.
Oh, yeah?
Quick. Yeah.
Okay, dive into it a little bit. Like,
Let's say, like, one thing I really hate is honestly just having to constantly repeat myself.
I feel that. I think that's a trait for everybody.
Right?
to
No,
be
it's like,
honest.
if we're talking or something, and I tell you something, and then you bring up another story, and I have to tell you that shit again. I'm like, bro, just
What is
either remember what I said or don't ask me about it.
I get that. What is one thing that you love?
One thing I love is common generosity.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like
You
that.
know, I like seeing other people be generous to other people.
Okay.
Like, it's just human decency, you know, really.
Yeah, no, I get that. What was like kind of like the upbringing that you had that you think that was like positive in your life?
Oh,
I guess what was your home life like?
my home life? It was not a good one, buddy.
Well,
I didn't have a good childhood like most people. I
Okay.
mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people have grown up in my situation and similar ones like that. But, you know, no dad my entire life. You know, he dipped out before I was born. My mom was a raging alcoholic. She was a drug addict for many, many years. So, as you know, I got two little sisters.
yeah.
You know, and back when my mom was doing meth and everything, SWAT came and raided our house one day, and CPS came through and swooped up me and both my sisters, and we were put in foster care for, I don't know, like 5 years. You know, like, it just overall wasn't good.
Did you had to step up in that part of your life then?
Yeah, exactly. That's, I mean, you see me, you know, I cook, I clean, I can sew, like, I can do all the, like, I mean, as bad as it sounds, like the wifely duties of a woman, you know?
No, I feel that.
You know,
I
and
feel
it's
that.
because I had to be there as the father figure, and then because my mom was a drug addict and everything, I also had to be there as the mother, you know? I mean, even today, like, my sisters will still come to me and ask me how to dress a certain outfit or something, because, well, growing up, I got them dressed for school. I helped them with their homework. I cooked their food for them and everything, you know? As a child, I had to be an adult.
When did you have to step up to be that person for them? How old were you?
Oh, shit, I'd say around 8 or 9 is when I had to start getting up there and taking care of them. Like, there was a point when I was living in Mountain Home, my mom just rented out me, Dawn, and Trish our own house, and she moved across town. And, like, I dropped out of high school, I went to work, but I'd work graveyards so I could get home and go to work while the girls were sleeping, make sure I got them up for school and everything, and cooked dinner for them and all that.
That's crazy, dude. I didn't know about that side of it like that, dude.
You know, like, I joke around a lot, and I'll playfully drop some hints here or there, but I don't really talk too much about my shit, you know?
No, I feel that.
Because it does get pretty messed up. Like, I mean, as you know, I've had problems with my alcoholism and my drug addiction as well. And I was in this drug class that I had to take, and our coordinator was an actual therapist. and we were all going around in a circle telling our life stories and everything. Halfway through, she started crying and asked me to actually stop telling my life story.
Really?
The fact that I made an actual trained therapist cry over how bad my life was.
That's crazy, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. But it's all good, though, you know? It made me who I am today, you know?
I think you're a tough motherfucker, dude. Like, it will take a lot for somebody to actually tear you down to this fucking bone, dude. Like, obviously you have the skin and the fucking, like, the organs and shit, but, like, to tear all that off to where it's just skeleton,
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot for a motherfucker to do that to you. And that's 100% fucking, it's just how it is, dude. But, what's it called? What do you think was good that came out of that then? Out of that kind of situation?
I would say probably the best positive outlook I can view from that is it taught me to be a nurturing parent.
Okay.
You know, it taught me to provide for others. I had to learn that kind of responsibility at a young age. I'm out here seeing 23 to 25-year-old mom and dads that still rely on their parents, which there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yeah.
But
to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. Once it gets to the point where you're basically just pawning your kid off because you don't know how to be an adult as an adult, it gets shocking, you know. But growing up and having to do that at such a young age, I'd already learned all of that. So it just made being a parent easy for me.
Do you think that you and your sisters got close because of that?
Yeah, I would say so. Me and Trish, my baby sister, we're not as close as we could be. I love her to death, but we're just not. My little sister Donna, she's probably one of the few people in this world I am closest to. You know,
they're what's it called? Because obviously, like, one of my best friends is Salvador, which is
right,
his or her fiance, boyfriend, whatever they are at this point. They've been together for 15 years.
Yeah, I just call him her husband.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point.
But I've known Donna since I've known I've known Donna a little bit after Salvador because they got together after me and him were cool, whatever. But I've known Donna for 10 years roughly, dude.
Right.
And it's like I've seen them grow up as kids, but then they had a kid.
Exactly.
As kids. And it's like to see them grow up as these people that I'm close to, it's cool. Like, they come, I didn't know that you guys had all that shit go on as kids. So it's like the outlook I have is different now. Because obviously Salvador he always made it seem like he was an only child. I didn't realize until a couple years ago that he actually had fucking sisters.
Yeah, he's got, what, 2?
Yeah, 2
Maria
or 3
and
or something.
Chiquita?
Yeah. And then, but he was always home alone. Because his mom was truck driving, but then his sisters were a lot older. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they were a lot older, so they'd already moved out.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So this fool was literally having a house to himself for months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just crazy to think about, like, how close you and her are whenever, like, I've seen their relationship go how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, where do you think that your life would be like if you didn't have your sisters? How much different do you think your life would be if you were an only child?
Oh, if I was an only child?
Do you think you wouldn't have the nurturing aspect that you do?
I don't think I would have survived my childhood.
Really?
I honestly feel like I would have either gone down an even worse path than I had, or realistically I would have just offed myself. My sisters are what got me through a lot of it because I knew I needed to be there for them. You know, not having them, I would have had no one that I needed to be around for.
Yeah.
So at that point, if I'm dealing with all this and I don't have a reason to go through it, why go through it, you know?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Obviously now you have daughters of your own.
I do.
How is being a parent compared to have your own kids compared to when you were helping raise your sisters?
Shit, honestly, like, how would I even put that? Because
what's the age gap between you and Donna and then Donna and
it's
Trisha?
only just a year and 2 years.
So, you guys are only a year apart.
Yeah,
for
me and
all
Donna
of you
are
guys?
only a year apart, and then me and Trish are 2 years apart.
Oh, okay. I always feel like you're much older, dude.
That's because I carry myself that way.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, realistically, I'm almost 30 now.
You're an old ass man, dude.
I know, but I look like I'm 23. I'm sorry,
I
you guys
wouldn't
can't
say
see
that.
how I look.
What is the fun part about being a dad?
The fun part?
Yeah.
Well, when I see my kids, I'll let you know.
Stop. No, because obviously there's those people that they don't even want to be a part of
Right.
somebody's life. But I know you try to do your very best to be in every aspect. You know what I mean?
No, I would say probably the most fun part about being a dad is just the experiences you get to share that, like, a non-parent doesn't get to experience. You know, like just this last Father's Day, like, I got to go and spend that specific day that's just for me. Like, that's my day now, you know? And I got to spend that with my daughter. And we took pictures down at the village in front of this big old sign with lights and balloons on it that says, "I heart my dad," and stuff like that. And it's experiences like that a non-parent, unfortunately, doesn't get to experience. They don't get to
for sure.
feel that joy, you know?
I'm trying to think right now. Obviously when we started getting close, you were in a different state of mind.
Yeah, I was let's face it, I was kind of a piece of shit. Like, I was not a good person.
I'm not
back
gonna
then.
say that because that's
no. I view it that way, and that's all right, you know, because I've definitely matured and I've grown up a lot since a few years ago, you know. But yeah, no, I wasn't a good person back in the day.
What do you think led you down that path?
Realistically, I would say my childhood. Just how would I put it? It's the phrase I'm looking for. Product of my environment.
Okay.
You know, I grew up in a not good lifestyle and not good household. I grew up with drugs and guns and alcoholism and everything like that, and that's all I knew. You know, and so as I progressively got older, you know, I just continued that lifestyle that I knew because that was my comfort zone. You know, that's what I knew and that's what I was focused on. You know, so that's what led me down to where I was.
Do you think that was the lowest point in your life? The lowest point of your life was that time frame right there?
Honestly, even having been in prison and everything, yeah, I think it was.
So going to prison was a better time in your life than before you went to prison, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I hate that I went there, and I hate the entire time I was in there. But I am thankful I went.
What was the deciding moment? Like, you're like, fuck, dude, I finally got caught up. Like, because obviously you can go for so long without, like, oh, I'm not ever gonna go. I'll be fine.
Right.
But then, what was that deciding moment? You're like, fuck, dude, like, I'm actually, like, I have to go face this. Like,
I didn't have that moment until after I was already incarcerated.
really?
And even when I was incarcerated, I was still, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna keep doing my shit.
So I'm gonna do my same
I'm gonna
thing.
keep doing my thing. You know how it is. And honestly, I think it was my daughter's 3rd birthday that I spent in prison. I realized, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm missing out on crucial years of my daughter's life. I've missed her first almost everything.
Damn.
You know, like, I'm
I
grateful
guess
I
that
was there
puts that
for
in
like
perspective, though.
her first words and her first steps, but I mean, I've spent more of my daughter's life in prison than I haven't. You know, and then I was literally just sitting in my cell one day thinking about that. It was on her birthday, and I'm like, bro, this sucks. You know, like, I shouldn't be in here. I should be out there with her. And realistically, I understand I shouldn't want to be in prison for myself, but I don't want to go back for my daughter because I don't want her to feel abandoned again.
How much, I know it's obviously very different, but what is a different in being in prison compared to everyday life? Like, what are, like, big differences you think?
Structure. Out here, there's no structure.
You do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. And you have the ability to anything you want, because you can create your own structure.
Exactly.
You know? But you also have that choice to literally go out and do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever, you know. But when you're locked up, you can't do that. You have a very strict set of rules you have to follow, and you are on a schedule every day, 24 hours a day.
They have that shit down to a T too.
They do, yeah.
Like, were they down to like the second, like the minute kind of thing too? Like, if say like what time would they wake you guys up?
Depending on which prison you're at, depending if you're inmate worker or anything like that. But,
okay.
So like when I was in Max and everything, like cell lights come on at 5.
Damn, that's early as fuck.
Yeah.
Every day too. Yeah. Fuck. And then and then you have your schedule you got to follow. What time? What time do they close? Like, not close. Obviously, you're in your cell or whatever. But like,
so like in solitaire, lights are on at 5 because you don't have a light switch.
Yeah.
Some like open tier dorms and everything, and then like if you have like your own cell, certain cell blocks actually have light switches.
Okay.
But like in solitaire, it was 5 o'clock in the morning, lights came on. 9 o'clock at night, lights went off.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know if they had like a set time that they actually turn it off, or they're just like, fuck.
Yeah, no, they turn it on and turn it off.
What was
on the schedule.
What was your day to day like inside? Like, was it rough? Like,
I mean, realistically, it's not as bad as people make it out. Like, anytime,
I've seen videos.
I was just saying, every time you see prison on a movie or some shit, I can guarantee you, 80 to 90% of that's not true.
Okay,
it's all fucking false. There are some shit in there that like you see on TV that is real, but a majority of that is blown out of proportion. I did 4 years. I never saw a dude get fucked.
Yeah.
You know, like that. That's. I mean, it happens, but I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people get stuck. I've seen people get beaten, crap down, but I've never seen someone like get murdered or anything like that. There were a few deaths. Like there was one guy who did get beat to death. And this is a rough piece too. This is an old cat came in, and one of the guys there's like, I know that fucker. That's the dude that raped my niece.
Oh, fuck.
And so they beat him to death. Turned out that wasn't even the right guy. Yeah.
No shit, dude.
He was in there on a DUI.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, they beat this man to death, and it wasn't even the right guy.
See, and they don't play around for shit like that.
No, and it was on the news too.
That's crazy, dude. What is something that you take from being in prison that you still do to this day? Like I'm trying to think of what's the word, like not structure wise, but like your day to day. Like, do you still have like your structure from that you brought back into your everyday life at all?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I'm a hell of a lot cleaner person now than I was when I went in.
Fair enough.
Bro, fuck. Everything. I've had a couple of friends who were like, Data, you're OCD. And I'm like, no, I like shit done a specific way now.
Exactly.
Like,
because you had to keep your spot clean 24/7, 100%. Right? Yeah.
Other words, you're what we consider a dirt ball. And I've seen people get rolled out or pieced in for just being dirty.
That's crazy.
That's why I shower every single day. Like, I see people, they're like, oh, I've been showering 2-3 days. I'm like, you're fucking gross.
No, that's bad.
I'm like, what? Like, go wash your balls, dog.
Yeah, for real. Because I know, like, one of the first times like, whenever you got out or whatever, when we came over and kicked it, we're, like, playing cards, and you're just like, hey, you want to play some fucking cards, dude? You're doing the deck and shit. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker, dude.
Breaking out 5 different shuffles.
Yeah, dude. Like, did you actually meet some cool people while you were inside?
Yeah. I've actually met some of the most loyal, some of the most honest, and some of the just downright there for you cats I'd ever met, and they were from prison.
Like, is it as segregated as people make it out to be on there?
It depends on which prison you're at, but realistically, no. There is some politicking going on, but I mean, like, when I was at the yard, bro, we got North Daniels breaking bread with Serenos and shit like that. Like, everybody's playing on the poker table. You do have your own sets, though. Like, so I was the house for the North Daniels. Like, I ran the poker table.
But that's like you getting like that respect as well, too.
And so, like, I got my cut for being the house, But everybody else that wanted to play, every week we'd end up divvying up, and then the key holders, or the shot callers, or how you guys would know them, would get their percentage of the cut because, well, it's politics. You got to pay to the gangs. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know? And then, so it's not like it's enforced or anything, but typically most people stick to their color. Like, you can still talk to each other and hang out and eat down and whatnot, but typically, like, the brothers, and that's actually who I ran with. Let's face it, you fuck white people.
You're the type of guy that isn't opposed to hanging out with anybody.
No, not at all.
So
I actually, I got an STG file on me, which is it's a security threat group file, and it's like the cops are intimidated by you and they're in fear of their safety because of who you associate with.
What?
And it's because I wouldn't quit hanging out with this Sereno cat he's a key holder. I mean, you've seen me draw.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's a phenomenal artist. He was teaching me how to draw.
That's badass,
and
dude.
I wouldn't quit hanging out with him. And so the sergeant told me, they're like, hey, if you don't quit hanging out with these active gang members, we're going to give you an STG file. And I'm like, hey, well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but I'm not going to stop hanging out with good people because you view them wrongly. And shit, they gave me an STG file.
Does that carry you along wherever you go now?
Yep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, any prison I go to now, it'll be on my file.
What if, like, you just got pulled over, though?
That, I don't know. I think that's just...
I haven't got pulled over since I've been out.
Dude, for real. I think that's just, like, on my prison file.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's, like, on my record. But hey, it could be.
Where did you end up doing your time at? Was it here, or was it...
It was mostly here. It was all in Idaho.
Oh, okay.
So I did a little bit at this minimum security prison called The Farm. But then I got pulled from there on a medical hold for my liver. Because, I mean, you saw how much I was drinking.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a lot.
Yeah, no. So my liver was shot. And so they pulled me and then put me into a medium security prison. I was there for a few years. And then I ended up catching an extortion charge, using fear and intimidation to acquire money. You know. Let's just say I don't like sex offenders living near me, so this guy had to pay me money.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel that.
I ended up getting busted for that, and they moved me up to a maximum security prison. I was there for a year. My points dropped down because I was being a good boy. And then they shot me out up north to Rexburg. And I did the rest of my time up there, working at this fucking trashy-ass potato factory.
Like, they gave you, like, work release to go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I was still in the prison, and the COs would take us on a big-ass bus every day, and we go from, because I was in Rigby, and we would go from Rigby, and we'd drive to Rexburg, and they'd drive us to, like, this giant potato factory, and I'd go work there for 8 to 10 hours a day, and go back home.
Would they provide you guys meals the whole time while you were out there, too? Or?
Yeah, bro. Fucking a cup of peanut butter, a quarter teaspoon of fucking jelly, and a roll. Not even slices.
For lunch?
Yeah, and then like a bag of carrots or celery.
What?
Yeah, every fucking day, dude.
Oh my, that's rough, dude.
Dude, I hated it.
How?
Buddy, look at me. I left prison 150 pounds.
And yeah, you did put on.
I put on some weight.
Yeah.
I'm about good 2.5, 210 now.
Damn, did you drop 60 pounds?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. So obviously, like, it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is.
No, it's really not.
As long as you're staying true to who you are.
And you got solid charges.
Yeah, if you're doing some...
If you're not a weirdo and you're not a
some
sex
pedo
offender,
shit,
yeah,
you're not going to have fun.
As long as you're not doing shit with kids, realistically, or just fucking being a rat, or like a PC case, so like that's snitching and going like to protective custody, shit like that, and you just be respectful, you're good.
Because I know respect is a big thing in there.
Hard thing in there.
Yeah, because I have one of my uncles is doing time or whatever, but whenever he got out this last time, he was just giving me like little tidbits or whatever, but he's like, dude, respect is one of those things in there that like it holds a lot of weight.
Right.
So, and I mean, I guess respect is a big thing anywhere you go.
True.
Not even just prison, but that's one thing that you kind of got to rely on is just being respectful.
Exactly.
So.
And a lot of people say respect is earned, not given. That's not the mentality you want to have when you go in for your first time.
Yeah.
You want to go in with, I give everybody my respect until they prove that they don't deserve it. You know? And if at that point you end up disrespecting somebody, chances are 9 times out of 10 you're going to end up fighting.
Yeah.
Is this just how it is? You know, and I've seen cats disrespect each other, not do anything about it, and key holders are like, no, you're gonna do something about it, or we're gonna do something about it with the both of you.
Yeah, for real.
You know, like, you got people just because it's a fishbowl, homie. You have hundreds of people watching all of you at the same time every day, so you can't really do shit without somebody seeing something.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And so
there's probably a lot of people watchers too then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, shit, that was literally my job. So I was what we called a jig.
A jig, okay.
A jig. So, like, it's short for, and I'm not saying the N-word, but it's short for jigger.
Okay.
And it's, you just keeping eyes on people in the tier, kind of shadier cats, and making sure the cops are where the cops are supposed to be, while the homies are doing some illegal shit. They're either smoking some dope, they're tattooing, making ink, whatever it is, and you just post up and you watch. And 10 to 12 hours a day, that's what I did. Is I'd stand up next to my rack or stand up on the railing, just watching, just keeping eyes. And if the cops came on the tier, we'd have keywords or fucking whistle tunes we'd throw out, let the homies know, hey, 12's on the block.
Just put that shit away.
Exactly.
Real quick. Okay.
And that was my job, and I got paid for it. That's how I got all my tattoos.
Damn. You got tatted up while you were
I got
there,
slung out. But like, I didn't pay a single penny for any of my work.
Damn.
Because I worked for it.
Yeah.
Like, I earned all my shit because, I mean, you get busted tattooing, it's honestly nothing too bad. But if you keep getting it, you rack up points and they can send you to max. You know, and I never once let any of the homies get caught. Ever. Like,
you're definitely loyal as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I had this one cat slinging ink. He had 3 people jigging for him. Still got busted.
What?
Yep. And I'm like, bro, what? I was like, employ me, homie, and I got you. It's like, I'm already jigging for 4 different tattoo artists at the same time, and I've never let any of them get hit.
Do they always came in from the same way then?
No.
No,
there were like 3 different ways that they could come in.
Damn.
And that's why you got to stay vigilant, and you got to be posted up.
Yeah.
And you got to watch and check all the doors. Like I said, you got to make sure the cops are where the cops are supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you look up and you see 2 of the cops are gone, hey, something shady happening. But the cops are also on a structured schedule as well.
Yeah.
They have set times that they're supposed to come in, but I mean, they can run theirs by like 15, 20 minutes early, late, whatever. So, I mean, you still got to be...
It's structure, but it's not
It's a loose structure, you know? Because if there were on a legit structure... we knew exactly what they were going to do at the exact time.
They would,
shit would
you
get
guys
a lot.
would catch on for sure.
Exactly. And so they try to be sneaky with it, and that's why you got to keep lookout. And like, I'd have all my artists in a row down the rack line working, and then I'd see the cop hit the block, and I'm like, cool. And I'd be walking by, and during football season, Brady was our code word for like Tom Brady.
That's awesome.
And I'd just be walking by, like, oh, did you guys see that fucking toss Brady just did? Or some shit like that. And then they'd hear Brady. And like, oh, shit, 12's on the block. Let's wrap this up, put everything away. Let them do their walkthrough. And when they leave the tier, get back to it.
Get right back to work. Okay. Were there some pretty good tattoo artists in there,
Bro.
then?
Oh, yeah.
Like... Is it this? Do they get like an actual gun and everything in there? Or?
No, homie.
Like,
so I like to say that. I studied mechanical engineering because I can create a tattoo gun out of a pen tube, a pen itself, there's a saran wrap, the motor from like an electrical face razor. Well, shit, honestly, that's really about it.
Really?
Yeah, like our tattoo needles. Back in the day, they used to use guitar strings, right?
What the fuck?
And they'd uncoil the metal around it and use the thin inner piece. Now you can actually just order like actual beading needles or sewing needles. Except, unfortunately, all of my ink wasn't even done with a needle. It was done with the spring out of a hairspray bottle.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we fucking pull it out, we'd straighten it out, and we'd catch a flame, and we'd heat it up, water, and temper the needle, and then we grind it down and sharpen it on the concrete. And that's what all my tattoo is. It's just a sharpened hairspray spring.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to think about that, dude.
And our ink, coconut oil and toilet paper.
Coconut oil and toilet paper. Okay.
You light it up, and then you put it inside of a paper bag, like the bag upside down. And all that smoke creates soot inside that bag. And you scrape it all out, throw in a little bottle with a little water, a little lotion, shake the shit out of it, turns into tattoo ink. All the ink in my body right now is just burnt toilet paper. Because I'm the shit.
So I'm the shit. What was the big differences between like a minimum security to medium to maximum?
Honestly, respect.
Really?
As I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of respect all over, but in a maximum security, you have a hell of a lot more respect being seen and shown than you do in a medium or in a low. You know, because in a low security prison, you're typically working. Not a lot of people want to lose that opportunity. So a lot of them let shit slide.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and it's called like a rider shield, you know? Like, oh, I can fucking do what I want with you because you're not going to do shit about it because you don't want to leave here. You got a good thing. You got a good spot. You don't want to fuck that up. So essentially, I can just punk you out. And you're not going to do shit about it, you know? But in a maximum security, bro, you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
You're literally at the worst spot they can put you. There's nothing more they can do. So,
well, there's obviously like solitary and shit that they could put you in, but
well, so I mean, when I was in Max, I was at 23-hour lockdown.
Oh, you had the hour for fucking
I had 1 hour a day. So I'd have 1 hour out a day for 3 days, and on the 4th day it was a blackout period, so I wouldn't leave my cell at all. So it'd be
3 days, 1 day, 3 days.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah, I was out of my cell 22 hours a month.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, for over a year.
It's wild because like when you think about it, dude, it's like what's going through your head in that cell for 23 hours a day, dude?
Bro, you got to keep busy.
Like,
because at least in my situation, I always stayed busy, stayed doing something, because, bro, I don't want to be left alone with my thoughts. That's a bad spot, homie.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not the time or like your surroundings that's the worst part about prison. It's the self-torment you do to yourself when you're in your own head. You know? Like, because you start reflecting on how you could have been a better person, all the shit that you did do, and you make yourself feel like garbage. That I came out with a lot of self-hatred, you know, because I had 4 years to just sit back and think about how I was a piece of shit.
Yeah, okay.
You know? Like how I abandoned my daughter, how I chose drugs and alcohol over my family. Like, it doesn't make you feel like a good dude. You know, and I had all that time to just sit there and think about that. But at the same time, all that reflecting, I came out and actually became a better person.
Like how much of a better person do you think you are after going through and having to sit in prison and then get out and you're like, fuck, I'm a free man now? Like,
I mean, you saw me before. I don't give a fuck about anything or anybody.
Rough. It was a little rough.
Like, you looked at me wrong and I was going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there was very few people that you would be like, okay, I'm going to hold back a little bit. Yeah. But other than that...
I mean, even before I went, Gavin called me a bitch one time and I slapped the fuck out of him in front of everybody. Right in his own party.
Yeah.
At his house. Full strength. Slapped him up. I mean, I wouldn't do that now.
Yeah, I might walk away or something.
Yeah, like, I'm like, listen, homie, like, I'll let it slide. Hey, you know, don't say that shit. But
yeah.
I've got a lot more restraint because I've grown as a person. But back then, you know, I was ready to do any kind of drug, get drunk every single day, fight anybody. I just didn't give a shit. And look, back then I was a huge womanizer, as you saw.
Mm.
But now I'm a better person than I was.
Certified lover boy.
Ah.
So do you think with the rehabilitation system that the government puts into place forever?
No, that's garbage.
I agree, because I think if you go in as a bad person, you're going to stay a bad person. But if you go in as a good person, like, you weren't a bad person.
No.
You know, you just made bad choices to go where you were, because you weren't a bad person.
Right.
Dude. But if you're a bad person, you go into that, you're going to stay a bad person, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But the rehabilitation, it doesn't work, you think?
I don't even really think, so they call it rehabilitation. I don't think there is any rehabilitation. I really don't. When you go to prison, you're just sitting. Your time literally freezes for you. They're not in there trying to make you a better person. They're not trying to teach you how to better yourself.
There's not like classes or nothing.
I mean, there is, but realistically, you sign up for those classes. They're a couple weeks long, and it takes months to even get in. All this shit. You have to have a certain point level to even qualify. Shit like that. Like, it's garbage. I would say your best rehabilitation is your own self-reflection. You know, thinking about how you can be a better person, and more importantly, why you want to be a better person.
Okay.
Just your own self-reflection is probably your best rehabilitation.
What was one thing that kept going in the back of your head that helped you get through every day?
Definitely my daughter.
Seeing your daughter?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What was that first hug like after you got out?
You have no idea. I thought she was going to come and pick me up from prison. And Danae, my daughter's mom,
yep,
she was there, right? She picked me up, and I was so excited, and immediately just broken when I looked in the back seat and saw my daughter was not there.
Because she said she was going to bring...
she told me she was going to bring her. She didn't tell me this, but it was actually kind of even better. Because she said she didn't want my first experience with my daughter after getting out was me picking her up from prison, you know? She wanted to be a better positive outlook than that.
I think that's probably a good choice,
and
to be honest.
What she did is she took my daughter to school and did not tell her I was getting out.
Oh,
Didn't tell her she was going to get Dad. And we drove all the way from Rexburg back to Boise, or Mountain Home. That's almost a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive.
That's a lot. So Danae drove a long way then.
And we showed up, and she said, I figured you might want to pick your daughter up from school.
That's bad. That's some G shit right there.
I'm like,
dude.
Actually, I do. And so we pulled up to her school, and I was kind of standing around this corner as my daughter comes walking out, and she sees her mom and goes, Mommy, and she comes running up, and I step around the corner, and she just lost her shit, dude. And ran out and just swooped me up. She was carrying me in her arms.
That's crazy, dude.
It was great.
See, and that's like, obviously, like me and Renee don't have kids, so I don't have that feeling of caring for another person. That's that little. Me and Renee care for each other, but I don't have that feeling yet.
Exactly.
Of taking care of somebody. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that feels, but I bet that it felt good to just kind of be like, dude, I'm here with you now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
like, this is a moment that I've been waiting for years, and it finally came to fruition.
What else do you have going on now then, since you've been out?
Honestly, just trying to continue to better myself. Like, as you know, I got pearled out to my little sister, and I'm living in her garage. It's just super embarrassing.
It's better than going back to the trap, man.
That is true.
That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta think about, man.
But like, I got my savings building up. I'm stacking my paper just so I can catch a spot right now. You know, and everything's looking up. It's taking a minute, taking some time. I've had a few minor setbacks, but I'm getting there.
You gotta get a car, man. You gotta get some wheels, dude.
The parole board kind of let me get my license back.
For real. If there's one thing you could say to anybody that listens to this, what is one piece of advice you'd give them?
Never follow your brain, follow your heart.
Elaborate on it a little bit.
You might think something is a good idea because it sounds fun in the moment, but deep down, if you actually like reflect into your own heart, you'll know if it's the right choice or not.
Okay.
And don't follow your gut, follow your heart. You know, because your heart will never lead you astray. I don't mean that in a relationship sense, because we've seen how many floozies I've had that were a doozy, not dudes. But, you know, in your heart, you know if something's right or wrong. And realistically, if it's a tougher choice, it's probably the right one.
Okay.
Because making the right choice isn't always easy. And most of the time, it's not. Your brain might say, hey, let's pick this easier route. Because why not? You know, it's easy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not always the correct answer. You know, like I'm out here slowly stacking paper. But on my brain, I'm like, I could go back to selling drugs. You know how much money I made selling drugs? And that's the easy choice. That's what my brain tells me. But my heart tells me, don't do that. That's not right because you're just going to go back. You're going to leave your kid again. All this shit. So follow your heart, not your brain.
Yo. You got any questions for me at all?
I'm straight, buddy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you getting on, just giving the audience a little bit of time of your life and what you've gone through to be a better person now than what you were.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen from you, man, is I've seen a tremendous amount of growth and a complete 180 in life. Like, I've known you before you were doing your hood rat shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're probably still doing your hood rat shit, but me and you weren't as close like that.
Right.
And then when we got close, you were a little rough.
Yeah.
But the loyalty was never in question. That's for damn 100% sure right there. And then when you were gone, the phone calls that I think when I was with Sal or whatever, and you would call, I'd sit and chat with you for a minute.
Yeah.
But then I would try to write you letters or whatever, and then I don't even know what happened, dude. But then whenever you finally got out, I told Rihanna, I was like, we have to go see Day.
Exactly.
I was like, I have to, and I think I gave you one of the biggest hugs I've ever given.
Oh,
anybody,
yeah.
Dude. And just to see your life unfold, and I see how you are now, complete 180, dude. And I'm proud of the man you've become now.
Thank you.
So you're a very important piece in my life that I want to continue to grow with. So
no, that's the plan.
So keep your head out of your ass is what I'm saying.
No, I feel you, because don't worry, I'm gonna be around a long time. Because we're boys, right?
Oh yeah.
And we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
So we're boyfriends?
No, we're not boyfriends. No, I appreciate you getting on and just giving me some advice, man.
Yeah, of course. It's been a long time in the making for this.
For sure. I know I've talked to you about it for a couple months.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it, you know. But
nah,
we set it up, and I'm a man of my word, so I came through.
Well, I love you, brother.
I love you too, dog.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. This was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, there could when the opportunity arises, we'll get another episode or two in for sure.
Bet.
All right. Well, this has been The Collective. Appreciate you guys listening.
I'm the youngest in the squad, like when the Chiefs brought Patton. Feel inside my zone, it's like lights, camera, action. Look inside the mirror, said there's no time to be passive. If I'm hurting your feelings, fuck it, I'm causing a racket. I feel Max Crosby when it comes to getting these sacks.